I saw this post by United People's TV, name a bigger upgrade, and I was thinking, what an upgrade this is. Onana to Lammens already, 3 games in, Lammens just looks better, the defence just looks more confident. Garnacho to Cunha. Now, I was someone that was saying that I believe in Garnacho's potential despite him being raw. I quite liked Garnacho, but he's nowhere near Cunha's level. Højlund to Sesko. Yeah, Højlund's doing well in Italy. Yeah, Højlund did well in his first season, but Sesko's offering more in these last 3-4 games than what Højlund offered last season. And then Mbeumo's just a ridiculous upgrade on Anthony. And I was just thinking, you know what? This summer, I think Ineos got it spot on. I think other than not signing midfielder, it's been spot on. I think next summer will be that wing back and those two essential midfielders. But Man United upgraded big time. Chelsea brought Giddens and Garnacho in on their wings. We brought Mbeumo and Cunha in. 2 Premier League proven players. 2 good players. 2 big players. We got this summer really well. And I will give Ineos credit. Mazraoui in the first summer, bargain of the summer. The Lick's great. Yoro's great. Xerxes was good, but I think the managerial change is what's been the issue with Xerxes, and I think that we will still get money back on Xerxes. A guy is the only Ineos signing so far with, I think, a real question mark on it. Obviously, Xerxes is not playing. But I think the signings under Ineos have been good, and we've been critical of Ineos. We came 15th last season. We lost the Europa League final to Spurs. We're like Ange's only win. We're still Ange's last win. It was atrocious last season, don't get me wrong. But I always felt this summer was good. I said before the season began, I thought Man United were dark horses this season. I said that I think Man United should finish in the top 8 and we are good enough to finish in the top 8. And I was quite critical of Amorim early on in the season because I've always believed that this squad is good enough to get Europa League football. Even if we finished 15th last season, 10th is not good enough. This squad is good enough to get Europa League football. I've always believed that in here. And it's the end of game week 9. We're a quarter of the way through the season. We've had the most difficult start to the season, and Manchester United are here in 6th. The same amount of points as Manchester City. 6 points off top, of course, but the same amount of points as Manchester City. 2 behind second place. Well, we've got big game, Forest, but it's Sean Dyche. It's a new manager bounce. That's not going to be easy. We then have Tottenham. We didn't beat Tottenham at all under Ange. We don't have a good record against Thomas Frank. This could be 3 wins, and then whatever happens, we could get back-to-back losses, and we're back to square one. So I am going to say this. This is 3 wins. This is 3 great wins. I always think the Brighton one was the best of the 3 because we never beat Brighton. Sometimes we show up at Anfield. As good as Sunderland are, we should beat a newly promoted side at home. But yeah, we might lose the next 2 games. We might be back to square one. We might lose the next 3 games. It could be Amorim out. Again, we don't know what's going to happen. But what we do know is that United have made some good signings. We have some good players. And this team is good enough to get Europa League football. This man, Bryan Mbeumo, is the best winger in the Premier League right now. Now, that might sound deluded, but name which winger has been better this season? You can make an argument for Kudus. Semenyo. Okay, Semenyo's been the best winger in the league this season, followed by Mbeumo. Semenyo on the left and Mbeumo on the right. Saka's been good, but he's had injury issues. Salah hasn't been there. There's no one that's been more scary than Bryan Mbeumo. And do you know what I love about Mbeumo and Cunha? Is how much they wanted Manchester United, how much they loved Manchester United. Tottenham are willing to go above Manchester United's bids and held talks with Brentford. There was a meeting internally at Brentford where clubs were trying to convince the Cameroonian star to choose Tottenham due to the financial package. And Mbeumo constantly declined, saying he'd given his word to United. Tottenham came into Mbeumo, gave Mbeumo high offers, gave Mbeumo this, gave Mbeumo that. And that's probably why Brentford took so long, and that's probably why the price kept going up, because Tottenham are willing to give Brentford probably the 80 million that they wanted. But Mbeumo kept going, I want Manchester United. Matheus Cunha, do you know what he said? My message to Man United fans, I am one. This is the club I grew up watching, and to be here is a mix of sensations. To help them, it is my dream come true. Matheus Cunha and Mbeumo doing what they can for Manchester United. We signed not only 2 Premier League players in Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, 2 players with proven goal contributions, 2 good players, but 2 Man United fans that know what it means to play for this club. Because we can use many examples of attitude. Look at Garnacho and his attitude. Look at Sancho and his attitude. Compare it to Mbeumo, compare it to Cunha. It's night and day. Don't think people really understood how good Mbeumo and Cunha would be in terms of additions from the off. Both 26, coming into their prime, and incredibly exciting to see the levels they reach over the next years, looking like bargain fees paid elsewhere. When you look at some of the money splashed, 55 million on Gittins, and we got Cunha for 60 million. Ooh, we got the better deal. Ooh. And look at the attitude as well. We've got players with the right attitude, I feel like. One thing that I've always praised Amorim for, because I've been critical of Amorim, and to be honest, rightly so, because last season was atrocious, but one thing I've always praised Amorim for was he got rid of the bad eggs and his recruitment was good. He knew which players to get rid of, he knows which players to keep. And there was one player that Amorim almost got rid of, and that was Casemiro. Now, this season, Casemiro, Man United have conceded 19 goals, only 3 when Casemiro was on the pitch, 16 without him, which is mad to think. He's been mint for us. He's been so good. I think Casemiro's having an underrated season. But I saw this tweet on Casemiro, and I thought he was spot on. Casemiro is the perfect example of how crucial the right mentality is in football. He was literally last in the midfield pecking order behind Toby Collier at one point. Do you realise how humiliating that is for someone who's won 5 Champions League titles? But what did he do? He stayed quiet, worked his arse off, and that's what an elite mentality looks like. And I don't know if you saw the pictures of Casemiro's transformation physically, but you could see it. No interviews, no drama, nothing. He simply worked hard and forced the manager to change his mind. There's one thing a manager loves, and it's a player who proves him wrong, and that's exactly what happened with Casemiro under Amorim. Casemiro was finished in January time, December time. He was finished. But also his physical shape, you can see the improvement there. Casemiro worked really hard off the pitch, you can tell. But Garnacho doesn't start a couple games. Bear in mind, Garnacho will not get the minutes at Chelsea they got at Manchester United. The delusion of Garnacho to think leaving Man United and going to Chelsea was going to get more minutes. I mean, probably because Cunha, he's not getting near Cunha. But when you look at someone like Garnacho, he was benched in the final and had a strop. But Garnacho played so many minutes, so many games. Yeah, he had a strop left. That might be Garnacho's biggest downfall. Casemiro, 5 times Champions League winner, got dropped, got humiliated, got ridiculed by the likes of Carragher online. What's he do? He turns around and he does this. It's a message to everybody to take example of that. And I think, someone like Mbeumo, who's not having the best time, he'll look at that and be inspired. He's not going to act like Garnacho and be silly. He's thinking about a loan move, but he's not going to be doing a Garnacho and speaking out about the manager. And I think it instills the right mentality. Casemiro is a leader. To have Casemiro in the dressing room is a good thing to have. Talking of another young player that got a bit stick lately, Ahmad. But I think Ahmad and Mbeumo are finally forming that connection. I think they're finally forming that deadly connection. In our last 3 wins, how good have they been? Now, Ahmad had to come off versus Liverpool because of the stupid yellow card he got. Ahmad came off versus Brighton, I think, just for defensive stability. And Ahmad was unbelievable versus Sunderland. Ahmad and Mbeumo, these last 3 games have been linking up and they have been fantastic. They have been phenomenal, Ahmad and Mbeumo. That duo on the right-hand side is brilliant. And I'm scared about AFCON. I am scared about AFCON. Because when we lose them, the left-hand side isn't the same. Mount and Dalot, and I think Mount's been very good this season. I mean, you got Cunha on the left-hand side, of course. Maybe we go someone like Bruno on the right 10. I don't know. But there is that worry there. And then, of course, Benjamin Sesko. The guy that was called Benjamin Sesko. The guy that was getting standard. Goal, assist in his last 3 games. But it's not just the goal contributions from Sesko. Do you know what's been good from Sesko is his all-round play. The amount of headers he wins. The amount of duels he wins. How he can hold the ball up and sustain pressure in the final third. It's his all-round play. And I wanted Gyökeres over Sesko. And I think most people did. And at first, I was pretty shocked that some Arsenal fans were actually annoyed that they were going for Gyökeres over Sesko. I was like, why do Arsenal fans want Sesko over Gyökeres? Because I thought Gyökeres was going to come out and ball. But the Portuguese league is very different to the English league. But I just looked at Bruno and I thought, well, Gyökeres will ball out. But having watched both this season, I have to say, Sesko has been a lot more impressive than Gyökeres. His hold-up play, his all-round contributions have been mint. And that's not to say Gyökeres has been bad. I don't think Gyökeres has been great. But I think the internet exaggerates how bad Gyökeres has been. But Benjamin Sesko has looked a lot more impressive so far. Benjamin Sesko has been a lot more impressive than he gets credit for. Players like Mason Mount have had a very good season. And this is why I was very harsh on Amorim. And maybe I was too harsh on Amorim. Maybe I'll have to do an apology video on Amorim. Or maybe this was just 3 games and we go back to our old selves and Amorim does end up getting sacked. I don't know. But Man United have a good squad. Ahmad and Mbeumo, Mount, Cunha, Xerxes, Sesko, Bruno. We have a good squad. And I expect us to get Europa League football at least this season. I'd love Champions League, but Europa League. Because I think the team is good enough for that. The fact that Mbeumo and Xerxes can't get in our side, we've got a good team. We've got one game a week. I think Man United have something good. Let's hope it continues.